coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. And birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
How about now? Can you hear me now? How's that? Can you got me now? Everything it's showing me the little line. Uh, I'll switch it again, but I can hear me. I can hear me. Okay, we got it now. Okay. Yeah, my soundboard was off. That's what I was explaining. My soundboard was off. My like the big one that I've got here, the electronic one was off. All these websites, my computer, everything is running slow. My apps on my phone are running slow today. I don't know what's going on. The gremlins must be in all these machines today because I didn't change anything. Didn't turn my computer off, nothing. So, and I can tell Restream is moving slow this morning. I don't get it. I was trying to share out the show, and normally just hit the little share button, press it, and it goes. Everything shares. Like I was pressing it, and nothing was happening. It's just so frustrating. I uh, I also wanted to look at this morning. There are documents that were put out yesterday. I haven't read any of them. I gotta find them here. Is yeah. I did see we have Judy from Texas. We're in Texas. Oh, I see the Huffs are here. We are in the midst of planning the cruise. I've got a bunch of people in on it. We're trying to figure out where we're going. Okay, this one that I pulled up, I read that one. Okay. What's this one here? Um, these are summaries. I don't know what this is. This was sent to me. I'm looking at this thing that's talking about emotion. I did laugh that yesterday the judge, Bay City on the Gulf. Okay, okay. I want to go to Galveston and visit Galveston sometime. That seems like it would be a very nice place to visit. Okay, yeah. So these are not motions like I was normally expecting. It's someone's summary that was sent to me. I if you guys haven't figured out, Skipper doesn't like other people's interpretation of stuff unless if it's someone, if I know who's writing it and I know what to trust, who to trust, that's when I'll trust someone's summary. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so this one was 84. I do want to go through this one. I've not read it. So we'll go through it. And you guys know I have not been going through these motions. There's other accounts who do that. Um, but I will look at this one just because I haven't seen it yet. So I'm interested. Presently before the court is plaintiff's motion for entry of default against Lynette Preston. For the reasons below, motion is denied. She was personally served on March 25th. They were granted leave to file a Second Amendment complaint. She was ordered to respond to the Second Amendment complaint within 7 days. Second Amendment complaint was filed on June 18th. Accordingly, her response to the Second Amendment complaint was done by June 25th. On June 27th, they filed a motion for entry of default, asserting that she had failed to respond to the Second Amendment complaint, um, and seeking an entry of default. Her response to the second complaint was docketed. The response certifies it was emailed to plaintiff's counsel June 24th per the postmark, mailed to the court for filing on the 25th. Yeah, but she had to have it in by the 8th. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, the complaint was on the 18th. So they had 7 days. So 7 days from the 18th would have been the 25th, right? Am I mathing? Yeah. uh, it was not received by the court. Okay. Plaintiffs argue they have been prejudiced by this. Although the court had yet to enter a default before defendant Preston's response was filed, the court will apply the standard that governs a cited default because if the court were to grant plaintiff's motion enter a default, Preston would be inevitably move the court to set aside the default. That's all correct. Whether the defaulting party acted promptly to correct the default. Defaults are generally disfavored. That's true because it's not, like it says here, not decided on its merits. So that's a pretty standard motion. People are like, "Oh, see, there's this and there's this," and it's like, that is not exactly how these things work. This was the one I did read. This was Matsken's motion to failure to state a claim. Oh wait, no, this is not one I did read. This is one that came in later, if I remember correctly. Matsken for tortious interference, advantageous business relationships, civil conspiracy. This one's a big one. Matsken's attempt to use Rule 12 to have this court treat motion to dismiss as a motion for summary judgment is both misleading and improper. All parties must be given a reasonable opportunity to present all material that is pertinent to the motion. Matsken not only fails to cite the last sentence of the rule, likely in an effort to bypass discovery and obtain premature judgment on a multi-count fact-intensive complaint, but he also fails to mention that of the two items he presented to the court outside of his pleadings, one is his own self-serving sworn declaration. Declarations and affidavits, however, were not allowed as pleading exhibits unless they formed the basis of the complaint. Matsken's affidavit attached to his 12B motion did not and could not have formed basis of plaintiff's complaint. Matsken's affidavit also contains assertions that raise issues of material fact rather than dispel them, rendering summary judgment wholly inappropriate. For example, paragraph 5 of Matsken's declaration states, prior to being retained for these matters, I had no involvement with Miss Preston's matters to the best of my recollection. Emphasis added. However, paragraph 126 of the complaint recites a letter written by Matsken on March 11, 2024, 2 weeks before he was purportedly retained by Preston, that he sent to several YouTube LawTube hosts seeking to promote himself as a legal commentator on Hales Preston's conflict, stating, I've been catching up on the What the Hell saga as a 27-year lawyer. I have some thoughts if you're interested. I have some questions I'd love to ask if you're willing to understand the origins of the Hales-Lynette War. This one's not a... Yeah, this one's just a motion. The other one was a like an actual judgment. So this one, as I'm looking now, it's super, super long. So I'm not going to go through it all this morning. I just wanted to know what was out there. I'll read it all later on this morning. But yeah, like the first one, a motion getting denied. It's a motion for summary, motion for dismissal. Okay. These are all standard stuff. People are getting really frustrated with how slow this is going. Dude, court cases in general go slow. Federal court cases go super slow. All these people that want the judge to rush, Uh, yeah, no, you don't want that. You don't want that. What we did find out yesterday is the judge did address the sanctions on Bruce and said they are going to be dealt with. There you go. That's all we need right there. It doesn't matter to me if it takes an hour or takes, a year, as long as he's held accountable. And you're saying the judge has said, no, he's going to be held accountable. Like, I'm not freaking out. I do like when Megan and Tug talk about the judge and things being out of control. I am sympathetic to that. Um, because if you don't want your if you don't want your courtroom to be a circus, don't allow the clowns to be in charge. And he's been giving them a lot of leeway, and at least in Fed 1, it's now time to say, "Okay, no, we're reining everything in." But they have not, to my knowledge, they have not, given any discovery, and if they haven't, they should 100% file for a summary judgment because the facts are not in dispute. If they did not provide any alternative facts, then there you go. My facts show this. Um, they haven't provided anything to show that my facts are incorrect. Summary judgment. There you go. I can't wait to see Shara's video coming up. Yeah, I Shara, I Megan and Tug are still working through Shara's deposition. I wish I could get a copy of that. I haven't asked them. I probably should. Uh, I would be interested in just reading it. If they told me here you can have it, don't broadcast it. Fair, fair. I totally get, you know. But for my interest is more in the information contained. But all that stuff was getting filed yesterday, and I didn't go through it. I was doing other stuff. I actually was on the phone with Brett for a while, Brett and Therese, and we were talking about what we want to do on this cruise because they've changed the veterans cruise. So the way Margaritaville does them now is they take they take all of the rooms that haven't sold and they give those to veterans for free, which is incredibly smart, very smart. The guy who runs Margaritaville Cruise Line, he's actually the former CEO of Royal Caribbean, so he knows how to run a cruise line. And for a discount cruise line, they're running things really well. I think. I'll save all of my judgment until I actually go on one of their cruises. But from what I understand, they're old cruise ships that have all been renovated. So but you don't have to be a veteran to go on this cruise. We've got people who are going on the cruise who are not veterans. And we have a Facebook group where we're discussing where we want to go and when. We're the most indecisive. Well, I get it. Some people don't want to sound too bossy. I'll tell you what my preferences are. We are looking to go in February. That's a big preference of mine. February or March would have been what I picked. Um, and then I like the Bahamas better than I do the Western Caribbean. I would like to go to Belize someday, and some of these go to Belize. They also go to Cozumel. I've been to Cancun. Cozumel is the island off the coast. I've heard people complain about it. I mean, which one should I read? Um, LP and Cook said they have nothing to send because they don't have time to because they have a disabled kid. Yeah, it's not at all how that works. Not at all how that works. They're going to get themselves into a summary judgment, and their only chance is going to be to appeal. And appealing to a federal court is very expensive, and they won't be able to do that pro se. There's a lot of stuff that they have to navigate if they're appealing. Um, but yeah, uh, yeah, Georgie and her mom are going. They're not veterans, so yeah, anyone who wants to go on this cruise, John's letter to the court. Are you talking about the one where he asked for a ruling on the motion, which was stupid? That nation is going to be announcing a super cool new thingy pretty soon. What cool new thingy? Yeah, yeah. Coop and Georgie are going to talk through all the documents. I'll be in the chat. Yeah, John sent like a one-line letter. I'm not going to cover that. It was stupid. Um, again, people who don't know how the court works. The judge, okay, with all these things that they're filing, the judge doesn't have a timeline. He can sit on, oh, I didn't see the other one. He can sit on all of these motions all the way up until the day of the trial. They have to be ruled on before the trial starts. But and right now we have a trial date in August, I believe it is. And guess what? The magistrate can move the trial date. He 100% can. Jeremy could, if that were to happen, Jeremy could say, "No, I have a right to a speedy trial." In this type of case, though, that's not like they'll be like, "Yeah, that's civil," um, and there are too many things that need to be decided. Like I've seen that. But I saw it yesterday in Georgie and Coop's chat. A lot of people very frustrated about how um, how slow it's going. Uh, I am going to fly to Florida. I might not fly the whole way. I've got a friend of mine who is going. I might fly to New Orleans, and which is not far from where she live, and us drive from there together. And it looks like my parents are going. I was talking with them this about it this morning. They want to go, so this will be this will be fun. Um, I've had a couple viewers reach out that want to go. Good morning, TK. But yeah, um, a lot of people are frustrated as to how slow and that there's all these motions piling up. Don't worry about that. When it comes to these cases, that is the last thing you need to worry about. I get it. People want information. They want the information to flow, but yeah, that's not always going to be the best. Native pride. It's pronounced Nolans. I'm not from Louisiana, so I don't have the Cajun accent. Yeah, Jessica, you should go with us. We got another Jessica going. Um, yeah, we got some people that we've been reaching out to. I've reached out to several of my veterans who've already talked about they wanted to go on a veterans cruise. Um, we just couldn't get it, but we are. If we get enough people, we're going to do. This will be a group rate. And the Huffs who are in here, they're helping us. They they're cruisers. They know more about cruising than we do. I know my one. I know about the one I went on and how that went. And I've learned some stuff. Like I'm gonna pay for the internet ahead of time this time, whereas I paid for it on the ship last time. It is cheaper to at least buy the basic. And a friend of mine said, "Yeah, buy the basic. Then when you get on the ship, upgrade." Um, I was shocked as to how affordable the cruise was. I like where you can pay for everything ahead of time. Um, because yeah, that's when I have a more enjoyable vacation, save more money. Oh, I'll let you announce that. Yeah, of what we're doing. We don't have a start date. It'll be fun. I now know what you're talking about. Um, which AVA, let me know if you want me to put you into the cruise chat. It's on Facebook where we're discussing everything. Yeah, a lot of people just don't want to say, okay, yeah, we're going to go here on this cruise line, and I get it. People don't, you know, if Larry and Saucy said, hey, we need to take this cruise line, I'd say, okay, let's do it. Me and the Grangers, we don't really have any preferences like that. I would like to go to the Bahamas. I've never been to the Bahamas. I've been to Mexico. I was at Mexico this last weekend, so for me, it's not like a shiny new thing. But the Bahamas is. Last time I went to Fort Walton Beach, I drove through New Orleans and drove. It went well. Yeah, that's the route we would be coming. New Orleans to Pensacola through Florida that way. Um, Looks like we'd be leaving out of Tampa, but I am not beholden to that. If we have to leave out of Miami or something, that's just as fine for me. Um, well, that's why I would native. That's why I would pay for the internet is so that I can upload videos and do live streams. More so, upload videos. Me and the Grangers did talk about that. Um, what I will probably do is bring a little travel router so that I can tie that into the Wi-Fi and then, you know, move the signal up because you're at least on the cruise I was at, I could only hook up two devices. So I paid for mine. My one friend paid for hers, and then I was setting up my phone as a hotspot so that like my mom could attach to it, and that worked out well. But this time I'm going to actually bring a router, and yeah, make it a little bit easier that way. And it doesn't have to be a huge router. The other thing is, at least the cruise I was on, and I'll have to check with Larry and Saucy about it. Everything was metal. So my friend who cruises a lot brought these. They were magnets, but they had hooks on it, and we put those all over so that we were able to kind of spread our stuff out because they give you very limited like desk space and closet space and whatnot. So yeah, we were able to move stuff around and like yeah, it just was a lot helpful, especially when it came to like charging cables and stuff, because you only have so many places to plug in. I'll tell you one thing I'm gonna bring. I'm either gonna bring my percolator or I've got a coffee thing that does one cup at a time. Not a Keurig. I don't do Keurigs. Um, but I might bring that with me only because waiting in line for coffee in the morning. Um, It's just like and I'm an early bird, so I was one of the earliest ones on the ship up. Like, it was the same people every morning, so it was kinda funny, like, talking to the same people. It was, "Hey, how's it going?" But I would, yeah, I would wake up, go get myself coffee for me and my mom, go up to her room. We'd sit on my mom had a balcony. We'd sit there, drink coffee, uh, and then I'd have to go all the way back down to get more coffee, and the line would be longer. So yeah, I was thinking I might just bring like a small percolator, right? Right, Georgie? My parents, they want to go again on this. If they go, they like they're not going to do the interior room. They're going to get a balcony. Um, that's just my mom. She likes having a balcony. Um, I just want to be near them. That was the only thing. They were on one side of the ship, I was on the other. That's the only thing I'm gonna request is, "Hey, uh, like, I think people in our group, let's try to keep us kinda near each other." Another thing I learned on my cruise, a lot of people, I didn't know this. They brought magnets and they put them on their door because sometimes going through all those hallways, all the rooms look the same. And yeah, there were people. I was like, oh, these people brought magnets. You could tell who does cruises every year. No, Skipper's going to have to do some business on this cruise because then the cruise becomes a business write-off. Get your money back in taxes for your cruise. Verdict's in for Diddy, waiting for the jury. Yeah, I'm not really excited about that case. Like initially when they were saying all this crazy stuff and then they dropped all the crazy stuff, I was like, okay, well, what what kind of case did you have? You are allowed to bring some things like like for instance hair dryers and stuff like that. You can bring those. Um, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna put a percolator in my thing. The hard part's gonna be water. Um, but they have bottled water all over. There is water fountains and stuff. So with doing coffee, yeah, that'll be the hard part. Never been on a cruise. I've always worried about getting sick. I had no problem. My dad gets seasick. Did not get seasick on the cruise at all because you're inside most of the day. So you're not even you barely even feel the yaw of the ship. You're inside. You might feel it every once in a while, but yeah, you're inside and you're, talking, there's things going on. So yeah, that I didn't know of anyone in our group that got seasick on the cruise. Um, they were delivering on the Rico. I heard not guilty on the Rico. Rico is a hard thing to prove. Um, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's all these things." It normally is some harder charges to prove because you have to show intent. I'm looking at the time. I'm gonna have to start wrapping things up. Um, I might try to jump into Georgie and Coops today. Yes, you do need passports, and it takes 4 months to get a passport. For each passport, it's going to cost you about $120. You have to go to Walgreens or Rite Aid. Unless if your post office will do the picture, you got to go to like a pharmacy. They'll do a passport photo there. Uh, I actually went like my post office only does the passport stuff by appointment, and Yucca Valley only did it by appointment. And I was really frustrated. So I actually went down to a really small post office near me called Moreno Valley. I was already driving through there. I just took all my passport stuff, walked right in. They took care of me. So don't think like if your local post office, if they're like mine, oh well, we only do appointments and we're 20 days out and all this stuff. Yeah, I just went to another post office and it was fine. Don't end yet. I'll come on. Okay. You got the link? Let me know. First time I got an interior room. Second time balcony. Definitely spend a little extra for the balcony. For some people that's important. For others, like I was talking with some people, they're like, I'm just going to be in the room to sleep, so I need an interior. And I'm like, hey, that's fine. Especially if you're trying to do it on a budget. I recommend reserving the interior. You can always upgrade if you need to, as long as there's availability, you can upgrade. Um, and that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably request an interior near my parents. They'll probably want a balcony, and then I'll just go use my parents' balcony. uh, but like if you have an interior and you're like me, you like having coffee, you can always go on the deck of the ship. I did that a couple mornings. I got my coffee. My mom wasn't up yet. And I just went and I sat on the deck of the ship and watched the sunrise. Yeah, the extra. Okay, yeah. If you're a big guy, the extra space is nice. All right, here's TC.
Hey, morning.
Good morning.
So I'll make the announcement, even though it's not my idea, but you guys, we this is not what you were expecting, but we are going to be launching a veteran focused supernatural panel. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a panel exclusively of vets, and we are going to be talking about different theories around what I refer to as preternatural, not so much supernatural, but preternatural. Everything from hauntings to possessions to uh, cryptids. And so the first few episodes, once we get started, this is Kahanu, AVA's idea. He thought it was a great little part of the chat on Sunday. And he goes, we should do more of that. And Skipper jumped on board right away. And we said, sure, let's do this. So we'll be doing on a semi-regular basis, probably once or twice a month if we can get everybody together for it. First couple episodes, we're going to kind of talk through how everybody feels about the topic, where everybody's at, what skeptic level we're at, what embracing it full throttle level we're at. And then we're going to start asking vets to, share their stories. It doesn't necessarily have to be a war story or active duty story or anything like that, but we're going to offer everybody the opportunity to come on and tell their stories. And we'll be reaching out also to other supernatural podcasts and asking their hosts to come on and talk about what they've experienced and what their guests have experienced. And like I said, we're focusing this on vets. Doesn't mean you're not welcome if you're not a vet. Certainly always enjoy having everybody around. But we do want to make sure that we're keeping in the theme of Vet Nation and just showing you how crazy veterans are and the crazy things that they claim they see.
I
So,
have a veteran friend who will love this, and she actually goes to the haunted places and stays all night, and has some videos and stuff. So she's gonna really enjoy this.
yeah, I think it'll be fun and it'll be a way for us to, um, for lack of better terminology, let our hair down. I mean, Skipper already has that outlet the way he does things with his coffee time and some of his other stuff. But this is going to allow everybody to see. It's kind of like my. I'm glad that AVA had the idea, but it's a little reminiscent of my Substack, where when I write and stuff, you'll see a different side of me. You're not gonna, super serious on soapbox TC all the time.
Speaking of which, speaking of the supernatural, look at this skinny guy. You look dead. Like, did you roll out of a coffin?
I did indeed. Yes. I just actually hit my lowest weight in over 30 years this morning. I weighed in at
Nice.
176.4 this morning, and that was after a weigh-in on Sunday morning of 176.8, and that was Saturday morning. And I had a hardcore cheat weekend, ate a bunch of pizza because, God damn it, I deserved it, and had a super carby Irish Amber ale at a little brew pub, and ate more than I should on Sunday, and I still only popped up to 180, but I'm back down now to 176.4. So I haven't felt this good since before I met Skipper.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
I didn't realize yeah, Skipper will make you not want to eat. But
He's been purging.
We'll keep, yes. So we'll be doing that, and
he's on the Karen Carpenter diet.
Oh, good. But if you guys are interested in that upcoming show, Kahanu's been tasked with getting a name for us to decide on, and so he's got to come up with the ideas because this is his baby, and I am his baby daddy, as he likes to announce. But yeah, we'll be doing that.
And TC and Vet Firefighter need to come on the cruise.
Yeah, the other half of the household has changed her mind about wanting to do a cruise. So at first she was super excited, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know." So we'll see. I mean, obviously she's stubborn. She's been with me for a very long time now, but
You guys should do the free one, even though what we're looking at, it won't be eligible for the free ones now.
but we'll see. So she's got other plans now that I'm being told we're saving up for, and I will be tasked with chauffeuring. So we'll do our other stuff. We'll still do Vet Nation Live. So if you enjoy yelling at Skipper or yelling in particular at TC and one of his rants, you'll still have the opportunity to do that. And we are still working on doing more episodes of Vet Kitchen Live. So, yes, exactly. We are nothing if we are not professional. But yeah, so now that we've announced it, we actually have to follow through. So there you go.
I'm down.
We have to keep our
Whenever.
word. So we'll be working on the first show, and as always, it will be unscripted. But we will stay on track.
I do have to end. I'm looking at the time. I'm gonna be late
Yep.
if I don't. But yeah, thank you for coming on for the announcement. I do appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. All right, everybody, head over, subscribe to Kahanu, AVA, and everybody else. So,
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and end this because I got to get going. But as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.